Hello and welcome to this Friday's episode of Sports Corner and the final episode of January. I'm Cole Young, and the NFL playoffs are officially down to just 2 teams, so I'll start there. In the AFC Conference Championship round, the Denver Broncos and New England Patriots, a historic rivalry, were set to square off for a spot in the Super Bowl. The Patriots had not made it to this stage since 2019 when Tom Brady was still at the helm. The Broncos hadn't made it this far since 2016 when Peyton Manning was still quarterback. Both teams have gone through massive changes and rebuilds since that point, and they each still found themselves back fighting for a Super Bowl. Remember, coming into this game, the Broncos would have to pull out a miraculous win without star quarterback Bo Nix, who broke his ankle late in the overtime win against the Buffalo Bills just a week ago. Backup quarterback Jarrett Stidham got the Broncos on board first. Stidham completed a deep 52-yard throw to Marvin Mims on the Broncos' second drive of the game, getting Denver down in the red zone. Just 2 plays later, Stidham rolled to his right and found Courtland Sutton wide open in the back of the end zone, giving the Broncos an early 7-0 lead. Midway through the second quarter, Stidham was under pressure from the New England defense when he attempted a shovel pass to avoid a sack. After officials reviewed the play, the pass was actually ruled a fumble, and the Patriots took over possession in scoring territory. Quarterback Drake May called his own number and scrambled for a 6-yard touchdown, tying the game at 7-7. After halftime is when things slowed down significantly. Heavy snow and swirling wind moved into the Mile High City for the second half. The day started out a sunny and 26 degrees with a wind chill of about 17. The fast-moving storm quickly engulfed the entire field, making it virtually impossible to see yard markers, end zones, or really anything. Kickers from both teams missed multiple field goal attempts until Andy Borregales made one for New England late in the third quarter, and shockingly, these would be the final points scored in the game. The Broncos still had hope when they got the ball with 3 minutes to go in the game, down just 3 points. Just 2 plays into the drive, though, Jarrett Stidham's pass was intercepted by Christian Gonzalez. After a 7-yard scramble for a first down by Drake May, the game was over, and the Patriots are headed to another Super Bowl after pulling off the closely contested 10-7 win. Because of the weather conditions, May threw for just 86 yards, but ran for 65. Stidham only threw for 133 with 1 touchdown and 1 interception. The Patriots now had to wait a few hours to see who would be standing in their way of a Lombardi trophy. The Los Angeles Rams and the top-ranked Seattle Seahawks had the stage set for their third matchup of the season, but this time with a trip to the Super Bowl on the line. While the weather was cold in Seattle as well, luckily there was no snow or rain, so this game had much more scoring. The Seahawks got on the board first, capping off a 7-play drive with a 2-yard touchdown run by Kenneth Walker. Both teams swapped field goals. At the start of the second quarter, the Rams trailed 10-6. That's when LA began to find their rhythm. After a 12-play, 81-yard drive that ate up over 7 minutes off the clock, the Rams found the end zone for the first time when Matthew Stafford found Kyren Williams wide open in the flat for a 9-yard score. Just like that, the Rams took a 13-10 lead. The Seahawks fired back when Sam Darnold hit Jackson Smith and Jigba for a 14-yard touchdown right before the half, putting them back on top 17-13. The Seahawks then received the ball in the second half, looking to build their lead, but were forced to punt on their opening drive. That's when Rams punt returner Xavier Smith stumbled, fell backwards, and fumbled the punt. Seattle recovered, and Darnold delivered a 17-yard strike to Jake Bobo on the very next play, and in the blink of an eye, Seahawks were up 24-13. The two offenses then began swapping touchdowns when Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, and Puka Nacua all scored in that order on the next 3 drives. To start the fourth quarter, the Seahawks sat with a 31-27 lead. After several defensive stops, the Rams were holding on to just a smidge of hope. They had the ball with no timeouts, down 4 with just 25 seconds left on the clock. Matthew Stafford completed 2 deep passes to Puka Nacua, but on the final reception, Nacua was unable to get out of bounds and stop the clock, so the Seattle Seahawks held off the rival Rams and advanced to the Super Bowl. San Clemente native Sam Darnold led the way for Seattle, throwing for 346 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 turnovers. Matthew Stafford, coincidentally, had almost an identical game, throwing for 374 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 turnovers. Wide receiver Jackson Smith and Jigba had a dominant game to cap off a dominant season, bringing in 10 catches for 153 yards and a touchdown. The Seahawks and Patriots will now face off in a rematch of Super Bowl 49 in 2 weeks when they head to Santa Clara, California to fight for a Lombardi trophy. I won't say much more because next week I'll give my full comprehensive Super Bowl preview, so you'll have to stay tuned for that. Last week, I mentioned that the Australian Open of tennis has been playing out, and we're down to the championship rounds for both the men and women. Unfortunately, American Coco Gauff fell just short in the quarterfinal round to Alina Svitolina on Tuesday. The third-seeded Goff, a two-time major winner, struggled with her serve and recorded 5 double faults in the first set when she was broken 4 times. On the bright side for the Americans, 4th-seeded Amanda Anisimova and 6th-seeded Jessica Pegula advanced to the quarterfinal round as well. On the downside, they had to play each other for a spot in the semifinals. Pegula was coming off of a third-round win in which she knocked off defending champion and fellow American Madison Keys. Early Wednesday morning, Jessica Pegula defeated Amanda Anisimova to advance to the Final Four at Melbourne Park for the first time ever. It marked Pegula's 14th win in her past 15 matches against fellow American opponents, continuing her strong run of domestic dominance. Unfortunately, Pegula fell just short to Elena Rybakina in the semifinal round early yesterday morning. Now, the final championship matchup between Aryna Sabalenka and Elena Rybakina will begin tonight, well, technically tomorrow, at 12:30 a.m. in Melbourne, Australia. For the men's side of the bracket, the semifinal rounds are being played out as we speak. Top-ranked Carlos Alcaraz and 3-seeded Alexander Zverev are facing off in their semifinal match, while legend Novak Djokovic and one of the current top 2 players in the world, Jannik Sinner, are competing on the other side of the bracket. All 4 remaining players are fighting for the final 2 spots in the championship round. That final match will be played on Sunday morning at 12:30 a.m. If you're a night owl, don't miss out on one of the biggest tennis events of the season over the next few days. That's going to do it for this week's episode of Sports Corner. Like I mentioned earlier, I'll get my full Super Bowl preview next week, so don't miss out on that special episode. Next Friday will also be the 4th anniversary of this show. Pretty crazy to have been at this desk for 4 whole years now. Anyways, thank you as always for tuning in to this week's episode of Sports Corner. I'm Cole Young. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next time.